we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I want to welcome you guys to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. If you like daily financial news and commentary from a black perspective, you should join us at theblackfinancialchannel.com. So today I wanted to lay out some stuff for you about what's going on in the market. It looks like the stock market is taking a hit today. It looks like we're going to drop at least 900 points at the open. The futures market pretty much tells us in advance what's going to happen with the market. So today's one of those days where where it's going to rain a little bit, and you're going to get back some of your some of the gains that you picked up from last week. And a lot of the big issue that's driving the market today is concern over a second wave of that virus that we shall not speak of because we don't want to bring it to life. So because of the concerns about the virus, you can expect a big plunge in your stock portfolio when the market opens this morning. Some of you may be watching after the market is open, but you're going to lose money today, most likely, if you have a diversified portfolio. So a couple of things happening. One is the concern about the second wave. That's the big mover. Second is that investors are still sort of figuring out what the Federal Reserve is going to do based on their speech yesterday. They committed to not raising interest rates until the end of the year. And that's a big deal because that means they're not going to slow the economy down. When they raise interest rates, they reduce the money supply, basically, in so many words, which effectively slows down the economy. Some thought that they might do that because the stock market had taken off so much and jobless claims are going down. But really, there would be no reason for them to increase interest rates because the economy isn't strong yet. The economy is getting better, and the stock market just tends to get ahead of itself, right? So basically, the big jump you saw last week that caused so many of you to make money. I know a lot of you are investors, and some of you are my students. The things that led you to make a lot of money last week are the same factors that are going to cause you to lose money today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe this week, who knows? The market just gets ahead of itself. So what I did was I did some research this morning while I was laying in bed, and I was trying to figure out, what's the second wave look like? When they say that they have concerns of a second wave, does that mean that we're having a second wave, or does that mean we have concerns that we might have a second wave? And so basically what they were looking at is, I think California, Texas, and they mentioned Florida having an increase in cases. And now when I looked at the number of cases, though, they were talking about, they weren't talking about hundreds of thousands or millions of cases. They were talking about maybe 5,000 cases here, 2,000 cases there, 8,000 cases here in there. So that's hardly a second wave, right? The first wave had 100,000 deaths, right? Which was 2 million cases. So if you compare 8,000 cases to, 2 million, that's not a big number. But what they're looking at is exponential growth, where they have models that predict what can happen if that growth continues at that same rate. And, the models, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But when you listen to the scientists at Johns Hopkins and other places, they are sort of analyzing this, and they are a little bit concerned. The states that they're mentioning are Texas, Arizona, and California. Texas and Arizona are conservative states. California is a liberal state, and California has been shut down pretty good. So that's another question now is, what's causing this? If cases are going up, what's causing it? So what's going to happen is, I believe it's going to be a liberal conservative conversation where the liberals are going to say, see, this proves that we opened the economy too soon. This is bad. We shouldn't open the economy so soon. The conservatives are going to come back and say, well, no, actually, the reason that the cases went up is because we had everybody in the streets protesting, and the protests are bad, and there were far more people protesting than there were running businesses and whatever. I don't know what they're going to say. They're going to make it all political. So, but I do think that, the second wave is something to pay attention to. Now, the reason I think it's a little bit of a nothing burger in terms of the stock market is because the president and his allies have all pretty much committed to not closing the economy down, even if there's a second wave. He's already said if there's a second wave, we're not shutting down the economy. So that's going to create even more division because we know Trump's strength is not bringing people together. So the governors of individual states are going to have their own decision-making process in terms of whether or not they run their businesses, or let the businesses open or shut them all down. As they're doing this, though, they're going to have pressure from people that want to go back to work, that just say, look, the virus is with us. We'll take the risk. Sure, I might die, but I'll probably live. My chances of living are far higher than my chances of dying. But I know that if I stay home and I can't pay any bills, then my chances of my kids going hungry or us getting evicted are 100%. And so that's what I think you're seeing. I think that so in terms of what I'm doing in response to this is I'm buying mainly because I think the big question is not so much whether or not there's a new rise in cases. Bigger questions to me are what's the ratio of deaths when these cases increase, because I'm sure that there have been spikes in the cases of HIV, cases of herpes, cases of, all kinds of infectious diseases that are out there, or even the flu, right? But how many deaths are come out of this of working healthy people versus people, who are 95 years old in a nursing home? So I think the number of deaths, that actually is more interesting to me than the number of infections. A lot of people have infections. Death is really the thing that everybody's afraid of, right? And the second factor is, if they muscle through it, they decide to just push through a second wave, what does that look like? Most countries are pushing through their second wave. I'm sure China had a second wave when they reopened their economy. They just, reclassified the deaths as something else. And they just said, hey, nothing to see here. There is no second wave. We're fine. But they probably did have some people die, right? But the economy is moving, right? So at the very least, it says in a very grim way that an economy can push through, another 40,000 deaths, another 80,000 deaths, or something like that. It's not good to say that, though. It's not good to think that way, and because it does come off as comparing money to death. But when I'm as a parent who's trying to feed their family, if I have a choice, I'm going to choose feeding my family, even if that means I have a 1%, 2%, 0.5% chance of possibly dying, right? So anyway, it's not a good set of choices. It's a rock and a hard place. But I'm sort of investing based on what I think the government response will be, more so than on whether or not there will be a second wave. Because even if the second wave matches or doubles the first wave, it's still, according to many experts, not big enough to justify keeping 40 million people out of work. And that becomes the issue, because remember, again, they predicted 2 million deaths. Even with social distancing, they got 100,000. So even if it doubled, even if the second wave was twice as high as the first wave, it's going to make big headlines. It's going to be a big conversation on CNN and the other networks, but it's not going to be big enough, to shut down the economy. I don't believe that they're going to do that. So another thought that's going on, another interesting thing that happened that I saw this morning is that Amazon is going to be hit with some antitrust charges by Europe, which is going to affect Amazon stock. So if you're an Amazon stockholder, you're going to have to deal with some of that. If you let's see what else. Oh, jobless claims came out today. That was another thing I wanted to mention to you guys. Jobless claims came out pretty much about where they expected. So I don't expect to see a lot of market movement based on jobless claims. So anyway, so that's what's going on in the market. So like I said, so today you're going to see a drop. If you're an investor and you're diversified the way we've been talking about every day since forever, then you're going to lose a little bit of money today, or you're going to see your value drop today. But remember, investing is a long-term game. So there are a lot of people who make a lot of money who don't even look at their stock portfolio except once a year or once every 6 months. So that's my 2 cents, and that's what I want to remind you guys of. So 2 things. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Friday night, we're doing Black Movie Night. Black Movie Night is totally free. And we decided this week, instead of just watching an independent black movie, which is what we typically do, because we're building an industry, we're building a better black Hollywood, we're building a space where black filmmakers can become famous and have our own industry. But instead of showing an independent black movie, what we decided to do this week is we're going to watch Malcolm X, two Malcolm X speeches, The Ballad of the Bullet and House Negro, Field Negro. And I'm going to break those down for you and kind of analyze that. And we're going to have a conversation about that. So if you want to be a part of Black Movie Night, which is Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, you can go to blackmovienight.net. That's blackmovienight.net. It's totally free, and you're going to love it. Everybody loves Black Movie Night. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, I'm going to go, guys. Did I see Starbucks is closing down more than 400 stores? No, I didn't see it, but I'm not surprised. They've had that before, because Starbucks just tends to open a ton of stores everywhere, and then things go bad and then they have to shut down stores. So that's always that. Starbucks has been doing that since forever, so that's not going to stop. All right, guys, have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Make sure you subscribe, theblackfinancialchannel.com. Follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can go to The Real Boyce Watkins. So take care, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a good day. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down,